Laurie, 19 North Brookside Drive. First, I'd like to thank Pat Seeger for forwarding a message to the DPW, and thank Jeff, who came to cut all the overgrowth at the corner of North Brookside and Cayuga. It was a blind spot all summer, and he did a great job, and he came back with a blower just to clean the street because he didn't like the way it looked. The line striping, I saw started in White Meadow Lake today. I brought up in the spring, but they were already gone. They said they would address it in the fall about stop lines. A couple that are a definite problem is North Brookside Drive and Algonquin. The cars come into North Brookside Drive before they stop because of the visibility that's there with the angle of the street and the hedges. So if there was a stop line there, then maybe they would have an idea they should stop at that point and then creep up instead of having people swerve around them on a regular basis. Also, at the corner of North Brookside Drive and White Meadow Road, West Lakeshore Drive, there's no stop line there, and people come and they cut that corner because they don't realize where the middle of the block is. Unfortunately, if the line was there, maybe they would go around, so they're not clipping the corner. South Brookside does have a stop line, so the cars don't really do that there. Those are the two spots I'm aware of at this point, but they could look around because most stop signs in White Meadow Lake don't have a stop line, and the cars do go into the intersections. Speeding is an issue. I know the police have been at different locations, but one real concern is Cayuga. I know it's a hill. They speed down the hill and they speed up the hill. Even when they see you walking with a dog, they don't slow down. Some of them are on the wrong side of the yellow line. They're just flying. They got to be doing 40. It's not even close to 25, even when they see people. So if that could be looked at somehow, it'd be appreciated. Thank you, and congratulations to the mayor, and nice campaign by both.
Thank you. Is anybody else who did not sign in wish to speak? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Newman. I live at 14 Comanche. I'm actually a new resident of Rockaway. Very happy to be here. I love my new town. But recently, over the last holiday, something came to my attention along with some of the other mothers in our community that have concerns. And I was asking for maybe a permit system to start, or perhaps another ordinance if something is happening in our township that is inviting people to, especially a private residence, that if that is occurring, if that's public knowledge, for that to be a safe and open opportunity. And to my knowledge, there was an event in our town that was held at a private address, which I later found out that private address actually has a tier individual that has been convicted of sexual instances or crimes. And knowing how I care for the fun that I try to bring to my family, being a new resident, if I saw that on a website, I would be excited. I would say, oh, kids, we're going to something in our own town that's there to give us joy. And if I found out later on that I was unintentionally invited unknowingly to someone's house that had been convicted of sexual crimes against children, I would be devastated. I don't understand why that's still open as an opportunity for people to do when they have been convicted of something. My husband and I did have a discussion about it. We did call the police department. The police department said that their hands are tied. So I was wondering if our township could do something about it. Maybe you would have to apply for a permit in order to do that, or if there's an ordinance that could be expanded, simply stating that if you are at all convicted, that this opportunity would be then limited, or you wouldn't be able to have something open to the public to invite them to invite children and adults to your house to participate in an activity. And if you did, you would have to post on your website that you are convicted of whatever it is. I know laws exist already where you have to make certain individuals aware that that has happened, but to my knowledge, there's nothing on that website, and I was wondering if the township could do something. Whereas a parent would not go unknowingly to participate in that activity and find out or have their children even exposed, and maybe something would happen, which could devastate the rest of their childhood and or their future. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thanks. I know that the township can't supersede, state or federal laws and guidelines, but are you aware of this specific situation, Chief? Okay, so,
That's the prosecutor's office, and we were told that the abandoned status that's assigned, and he can have whatever functions he likes. The burden is on people that are attending to, for us, educate themselves, and they make the conscious decision whether they attend. As for posting any further information, you're opening yourself. The township up to criminal and the civil sanctions for the town attorney. That's the law from the state.
okay, thank you.
Come on.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Dominic Nicastro, 9 Lennox Road, Rockaway. Two questions. I got a question on down by the Parks Lake. The overgrowth, not where the geese are migrating, but there's a lot of overgrowth. Are we able to get the town to trim that down a little bit? So when you're coming in, I know when we moved from Bergen County, it was during the winter, and it was like one of the things that really made us love up here. It was like a park setting of Norman Rockwell setting. They were ice skating actually. And the stuff is growing kind of high now. And I know we got the one area with the geese nest and stuff, but is there any way to get that leveled out and cleaned up so you could see it when you're coming down that road? That's one question. And the other question is, you know how I keep asking you about Peterson's Field with the bocce ball. Are we going to put the bocce ball in? Is it included in our money? I keep talking to Dave, and Dave's trying to help me, but I'm asking you folks, if we're going to put the courts in like we said we were going to put 2 and 2, instead of everybody that wants to play, we go to Montville. We could play there. We could even have leagues. It'd be fun. It really would be fun if we do it the right way and have the 4 courts with the pegboards, and then a bench and a bench and a bench. Might even be you could get donations from the Unico people, or just putting it out. And if you want to memorialize the benches, maybe you could do that in someone that passed away, and it could offset the cost on some of it. So that's my 2 questions.
Thanks. Pat, whoever can respond, it doesn't have to be right now, for the Park Lake question.
I'm on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is part of the plans. We just got to finalize some of the details. I believe in the plans, it's for 2 courts, as of right now, and we're just trying to figure out location, things like that. We're trying to work through those details, but it's part of it.
Mr. Mayor, we'll be able to do the force if you have the competition.
We could talk about it. Yeah, so.
Let's start with 2.
And at Parks Lake, are you talking by the gazebo, Dominic?
Well, yeah, when you come up that road, where we go down the road,
Yeah,
there's a lot of growth.
yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure where you're talking about. Yeah.
I know the geese, they nest in there, but they don't nest in the whole thing.
Okay.
You could level that and get that, so you can see it. It's nice. It's a nice lake.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay. Item number 8, ordinances for introduction. O-22-20, ordinance providing for various improvements on purposes to be undertaken in and by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey, and reappropriating $3,795,720.24, therefore, constituting proceeds of obligations of the Township heretofore issued. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedlander, or Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses. Motion passes. O-22-21, ordinance providing for various improvements or purposes to be undertaken in and by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey, and appropriating $1,354,201.76, therefore constituting proceeds of a grant from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. Item number 9, consent agenda. R-22-150, B, R-22-151, C, R-22-152, D, R-22-153, E, R-22-154, F, R-22-155, G, R-22-156, H, R-22-157, I, R-22-158, J, R-22-160, K, R-22-161, L, R-22-162, and M, R-22-163.
Council President,
Yes.
can I make a motion to have 2 removed for further discussion, please?
I don't believe we need a motion. We can just pull those out, correct? Which ones?
B, R-22-151, and I, R-22-158, please.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other that they wish? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion on the consent agenda minus items B and I.
I make the motion to approve. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, it's 8 yeses. Those items pass. Discussion on item B, R-22-151.
I just wanted a little bit more clarification on that one. Could it be explained a little bit better?
There was a national settlement for opiate for the pharmaceutical companies. We joined it, and if you joined it, you got part of the settlement. All of Morris County did, and this is money that we're going to be getting. I don't know how many years, but we've already got 2 payments. So this is to add it back into the budget. It has to be spent a certain way, but we did get that.
Yes.
Any other discussion on that item? Okay, so I need a motion to pass that item.
So moved. Seconded.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn, I apologize. Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses. That item passes. Discussion on I, R-22-158.
Council President,
Yes.
by definition, any discussion of 158 is going to need to be held in closed session because any discussion of that is likely to verge into personnel matters. It's a simple thing if you want to discuss it. We have as item 12, the closed session resolution, which I was going to suggest one amendment to anyway. The next to last line reads to discuss potential litigation. It more appropriately should read pending litigation. So I would suggest that amendment. And you could just further amend the closed session resolution by reading pending litigation and personnel matters. And then we can discuss it in closed session.
Okay, when we come to that item, I'll make a motion as such. Okay, agenda item number 10, resolutions for separate votes. This is R-22-159. Clerk, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman New,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. Old business, new business, and discussion. Again, we'll go one at a time, and I'm going to ask that we keep them to 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I was looking at the man when I said that. Mr. Councilman Friedlander.
Switch the order on me.
Are you not prepared? I can start the other side.
Huh? You want it?
You okay? You sure? I want you to be happy. No.
Well,
Um,
downhill from my reports.
All right,
Can
go
you
ahead.
excuse me for 1 second?
Yes,
Can we discuss the best practices before you guys give your report?
best practice.
Please, best practices is A.
Oh, item 11.
Lisa would like to discuss the best practices, 11A,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
No, please.
Otherwise, I can do it during my report. It's,
Mandy's not prepared anyway.
Manny needs some extra time anyway. He's completely caught off guard here.
all right.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We are required to discuss it at a council meeting.
You're gonna ask for it now, it'll be over.
So the best practices inventory is a survey that the Division of Local Government Services put out back in 2010. In order to receive 100% of our state aid allotment, each town has to score a certain score to get that 100% aid. This year, that score was 24. We received a score of 34 and a half, so we're well above the minimum required to receive all our aid. There's a ton of topics, all relating to, I'll list them all, health benefits, personnel, budget, financial administration, capital projects, transparency, American Rescue Plan, procurement, cybersecurity, lead remediation, shared services, tax collection, opportunity zones, fire districts, environmental, and housing. So there were 56 questions pertaining to all of those topics. Some of them were unscored. They were just there for the state to accumulate information from all the various towns across the state. Others pertain to core competencies and the best practices. So I'm going to be putting this up on the website. I plan to do it tomorrow, but it's Veterans Day. We're not closed. So I'll be putting it up on the website on Monday. If anybody wants to look at the questions in detail, feel free to browse through it. And that's about it.
Okay, and then there's an item here for the council meeting schedule. Did somebody going to speak to that?
I sent a draft.
Yeah, so
I apologize.
we got a draft. Jonathan and I have looked at it. There's a couple mistakes. So we'll,
Okay.
we plan on getting this back to you by early next week and hopefully present it to the council at the next meeting. Okay, Councilman Freelander.
Thank you, Council President. Okay, a couple quick reports. Just want to state the library, the Hibernia branch is going full speed ahead. I believe opening, they're talking about the beginning of December. So I'll keep it posted on that. But if you go into the library and you got to walk in there, you won't recognize the interior. That's how great it looks. Historical Society, I think you're aware of, I mentioned we had open house. We had the fourth graders from Dwyer, 50 of them, broken down into 5 groups in each room, and they had a fantastic time. We were dressed in the Revolutionary period clothing. I myself was John Paul Jones, and it was a great day. And you know the kids enjoy in the history of this town when you go to Dark Night, and I was wearing the costume that night, and they walked past me and they said, "We saw you at that building," and they were jumping up and down. And then they wanted to take pictures of John Paul Jones. So you know the kids are following, they're getting to enjoy it. I mean, it's great. I mean, you know, the town is just doing things that the kids are growing up and cherishing. Third, Substance Abuse Alliance. I was reporting that they had the 4 phases, and they finished with the Night to Remember. Unfortunately, first one I missed in that God knows how many years I was away on business, but it was a great success. And I just, since I'm under my time, I just got to play something that I got, and it'll just be a minute. And let's see if I get it. Here we go. Well, I got it, and I'm adding it to it.
You had an event last night. You had an event last night.
Yes, yeah, I stopped at the Rockaway Township Substance Abuse Alliance. They had the Night to Remember. It was amazing. They had an officer from Texas who works with the K-9 unit with helping with locating drugs coming across the border.
Yeah,
It was so interesting to hear.
Okay, that's quick enough, right? Thank you. That's the Joe Piscopo show. So Rockaway Township, this is one of the people that came down that night to participate. So we're branching, I mean, this is what we do in this town. And we got to all support it. It's just another great thing that our town is being recognized for. And that's it.
Thanks. John Paul Jones, he was one of the Beatles, right?
No, he was the father of our Revolutionary Navy. And you know what he said, what he's famous for?
No.
Don't give up. I've only yet begun to fight, when he fought the British Navy. The rest is history.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes. My grandson happened to be there. He didn't recognize Manny because he was in his garb.
No, I just got to interrupt him. When I introduced myself,
Guys.
and I said, anybody know who I am? One kid yelled out, "You're Manny."
That was my grandson.
That was his grandson. I said, yes, but today I'm not.
But he did recognize him after he introduced
I'm
himself.
counting this against your 5 minutes, Councilman Quinn.
Thank you. I don't mind the interruption for good things. Okay, so, yeah, Manny touched on Dark Knight, Halloween. That was fantastic. I could not believe how many kids and parents came out. It was the biggest group I've seen in all my years. So it was great. It was fun. The other thing was the opening of Peterson Field. Lord, I can't believe how loud this thing is now. The grand opening of Peterson Field, the kids all had a great time. They enjoyed it. And looking forward to seeing more games and everything on it. I do have a question for administration dealing with the signage of Peterson Field, because even though we had the grand opening, the field was closed to everybody. But the problem is the kids still go on it. In fact, over the weekend, there was kids on it with a bicycle. The officers had to go there and throw them off. They were getting on. It's just, we have to get the signage up. And by getting the signage, hopefully that will be able to be enforced a little better. There was some teams on there throwing the football. It wasn't officially turned over to us, but I'm hoping to hear tonight from administration as to when it will be turned over, so that we can start looking at people playing on that field. The kids are excited to play. They want to get on it. As far as the planning board goes, it's been relatively quiet. We have had some minor stuff, nothing to earth-shattering that we have to really do. And the rec committee, it's had a few grievance hearings, and again, nothing spectacular to talk about, but they are looking for getting on Peterson and doing stuff. And the last thing is, when is the cameras going on Peterson Field? Because I understand there was some vandalism done to the basketball courts. And if we have the cameras, yeah, we may not be able to go after them, but who knows? You might get a freeze frame of somebody and we can get them. So those are my questions for administration dealing with that. So other than that, congratulations, Mayor, on your win, and Jonathan, a great contest, nice and clean. It was well run for both. Thank you.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Thank you. First, I want to thank all the fire departments, Mr. Heitzelman. The firehouse tours were amazing. It was really cool to walk around and see all the different types of vehicles based upon the region of town that they're located and what they do. So I would like to just thank them for all their hard work, their volunteerism. They throw a really nice party, so that was fun. But most importantly, it was very impressive. I think I learned a lot, but all fire trucks are not just red. They may look alike, but they're all different in their own way. So I thank everyone for answering my silly questions as well. The second thing is I did have the pleasure to attend the Substance Abuse Alliance, the Night to Remember. On the 3rd, I was able to bring my 8th grade son with me. It was a phenomenal presentation. Not only did we have Officer, I'm going to probably butcher his last name, Artamarchi from Texas. He was actually a Morris Hills grad. Come and speak about, smuggling in Texas and how things are coming up north, and then having 2 recovering addicts. I think they've been clean for 10 to 12 years, going around and talking about their journeys and how they ended up where they did. And they were both similar yet very different. So that was extremely powerful. And then also we had our Sheriff Gannon had come. Aaron Tomasini had done a demonstration with an officer and the dogs. They didn't bring drugs in the building, but they did bring a bomb, which was kind of funny. That blew my son away. But again, it was just a very powerful program to come and bring your children. As a parent, you have a lot of conversations. As someone who's personally been dealt with a family member who did not come out on the other side of addiction, I think it's a really important thing to not stigmatize and make sure the kids can be open and honest and talk about their emotions and the struggles they may have. And we're extremely blessed and lucky to have Les and everyone in the Substance Abuse Alliance to have this program 25 years. And it was just super awesome. So I would like to thank them, and as they continue to do that stuff, and that anyone sees any types of programs they have, is to come out and check it out. It's really, really great stuff. I think that's all I got.
Thanks. Councilman Tovich?
I had a few residents reach out to me from, that's loud, right? From White Meadow Lake. There was an incident 2 weeks ago with some guys stealing some packages. Are you familiar with that, Chief? And the resident said that he wants to thank the police department for doing a great job, because you guys set up a sting operation. They got the guys that were trying to steal the packages. They were acting like FedEx employees, and right in front of the homeowners, they were trying to take those packages. But the owners called you guys, and the police department responded, set up a sting, and they got them. And in fact, while they were arresting that one with 2 people that were involved, there was a third person down the street that approached another homeowner trying to steal a third package while you guys were arresting the other guys down the street. And the homeowner, you guys, you came over, and again, great job catching both of them. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Nun?
Yeah, just a couple of, I'm not gonna, Darks Lake was amazing. I'd like to hear from Dave. He did an amazing job. Yeah, I know you worked well with Rob over in the borough. You did an amazing job, and thank you for that. It was a good time. The other thing I'm just gonna throw in there, because Paul made me think of it. All you're seeing on the news now is the theft of the catalytic converters. Are we having an issue in that area with this, in our area? We are having? Yeah, all right.
We've gotten everyone to lock their cars and take their keys, but now they're going underneath them and taking the
catalytic converters. What a shame. And the third thing I have, I did send it to Dave Dyer. Pops on Route 46 in Rockaway. I don't know if anybody ever goes there. They're very it's a good place to go and eat, but they are giving back to the community. They're having a free Thanksgiving dinner from 11 to 3 on Thanksgiving Day. You can volunteer, you could donate, or you could just go eat. So I think Dave's going to put it on Facebook, and again, Pops on Route 46, and they put a nice little letter in there that they're so appreciative of people coming to their establishment that they want to give back to the community. So I think that's nice, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, Council President. First thing is just it was nice getting to Peterson, especially for somebody that grew up on the field, to see the evolution, and looking forward to the additional phases that are going to be done there. The other thing with Parks Lake, I do know back several years ago that they were trying to be more eco-friendly, and they weren't letting us get close enough to the lake to cut anymore. So I don't know if that's still going to be the case, but I agree with you. I'd rather it be grass right to the lake. It was much nicer, and you got to appreciate it. Now you don't even see the water. When you're walking your dogs, everything is, there's trees overgrowing. So I agree with you there that needs to be taken a look at. So that's it.
No report, thank you. Just adding to what Councilman Quinn said, at Peterson Field, there's a lot of people who bring their dogs, and it's not really certain if there's an ordinance, if there's not an ordinance, but like the leagues, I know that they're trying to enforce it, but if there's no signage, they can't enforce it. So if the ordinance truly says that no dogs are allowed there, and I actually saw people leaving their dogs, taking the dogs off the leash on the turf field because it's all fenced in. If there is no dogs allowed, then we really should just get some signs up there. I know, yeah. Great job on the election. I was really impressed with the voter turnout. Way much, way higher than I expected. I was really happy to see that. Kudos to the fire department yesterday with the brush fire down at the north end of town, and the police also. I believe they were able to. There was a couple of kids up there, and good job all around there. I know we spoke about it before, and I know it's not the town directly, but the flags at Parks Lake look phenomenal. So it's just, I know it's for the dedication, upcoming, but it looks really good. The Rockets are done with their season. Great. They did a great job. Basketball signups are still open. So they were going to close them. Basketball decided to leave it open, I think, until the end of this week. For rec basketball.
High school?
That includes high school. So the Rockaway Township rec basketball now encompasses high school. So for kids such as mine who will never sniff a real basketball team, they can certainly join the rec team. So that's all I have. Mr. Ashfano?
No report at this time, Council President.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. A few things I want to recognize. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I'd like to recognize all the veterans in their service to our country, especially those in Rockaway, and especially in the township. We have a lot of employees who are veterans, so I'd like to recognize them. And as Council President mentioned, on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, the township, in coordination with the borough and the Rockaway Township Unico, was hosting an event to dedicate a memorial to General Odinero. It starts at 11 o'clock. There's going to be some pretty impressive speakers coming. Dave Dyer's done a great job, and Dave Swanton coordinating with the borough, Chief McParlin arranging for the police. So I think it's going to be a special day. Next, I wanted to recognize a business, Tony and Vinny's Italian Deli. It's located a few doors down in a little strip mall by the ShopRite of Rockaway and Applebee's. They're an Italian bakery and deli. I get bread there. The bread's awesome there. Dominic, do you ever get the bread there, Dominic? It's right? Yeah. Good bread. Get sandwiches there. Very good. They are, it's funny. The family includes the owners, Alonzo and his wife, Olympia, daughter, Jennifer, sons, Brian and Ernie, cousin, John, Aunt Irma, and Uncle Juan. Alonzo's wife Olympia immigrated from Ecuador to the United States in 1994, and he immediately started working as a baker at Tony and Vinny's. He biked 10 miles to and from work each day. Then 2012 was able to buy the business and start his own journey. Talk about an American success story. The baker has continued to thrive by offering fresh and delicious baked goods, mostly Italian, but with a few touches of home. So if you go to our Facebook page, there'll be a link there, and you can learn more about them. In terms of reports, we had the fire inspections and dinner, and as Councilwoman Brooks said, it was very impressive. Seeing all the equipment and talking to all the volunteers. They're very knowledgeable about the equipment. I frankly didn't understand or realize that some of the equipment's very specialized for only certain things. The dinner was wonderful. Got to recognize two 50-year veterans and the families of first responders. That day also had a marriage ceremony. The next day, Unico hosted a Dan Bell citizenship breakfast or lunch, I guess, to honor Marco from Cafe Navona. It was a very special event, and it was well attended. On the 20th, I attended an event at the YMCA in Mountain Lakes to talk about services they can provide to townships. And actually, we have a meeting set up to meet with the local area president and talk about some of the social type services the Y can provide to townships. We had the Peterson Field ribbon cutting and Rockaway night. It was very well attended. It's exciting, like Councilman Brooks said, to see the evolution of Peterson Field, and there's more to come with that, so I'm excited for that. The Spooktacular, as Councilwoman Noon said, was incredibly attended. There was a band from School of Rock, or what do they call it? Back to Bach, Rock to Bach. Very cool. Yeah, and they were a great band. I'd like to thank Mr. Dyer, Mr. Swanton, the borough, Chief Russo. They had a fire truck there. Really, Chief McParland had police there. I think every kid I saw was grinning from ear to ear the whole night. I attended a trunk or treat at Town Square Village. They have a great community over there, and they do some great things for their neighborhood. Earlier this week, I guess it was this week, yeah, last week, met with the Eagle Scout, and Councilman Friedlander's aware of this. A plaque was recovered over by Richard Mine Road that honors workers from the mine that served, I think, in World War I, right? And so this Eagle Scout for his project is going to be building something out here where we're going to mount the plaque. And it's going to tie in with the whole railroad theme, the anvil and all that. We had the Historical Society approve it, so it's going to be pretty cool. So I met with him to finalize the plans. On the 2nd, we went to an Alzheimer's awareness event at the Brookstone in Patterson. It was widely attended. It was a very, very nice event. On the 3rd, we had the ribbon cutting at Pondview. A few of the council members came. They created a firehouse over there, right? They built that as part of their plans, and we are going to be putting a fire truck there eventually. I think the police are going to be able to use it as a substation. So it's a big win for the township to have that over there and be able to put equipment over there that we can. Stopped in at the flu clinic. I'm sure, I don't know if everybody's aware, we had a flu clinic. We tried to advertise it. So we had our health department work in the flu clinic. And then, as Councilman Friedlander said, attended the Night to Remember. Lisa and Les Wexler do an incredible job with the Substance Alliance Abuse Committee. The event, like Councilwoman Brooks said, a lot of children were there, and I think it's good for them to see that, to hear the stories. There were two very brave addicts that went up and talked about their story, and I think it was very impactful, and that police officers were unbelievable. Had some good Rockets games that last week in the games. I think they're all pretty competitive games that we went to. We had the rabies clinic on the 5th also. The health department did a phenomenal job. If you've been to ones in the past, they made some changes. It was very smooth. There were really hardly any lines. Everybody got through really quick. Had a marriage, and then on the 7th, Monday night, went to the Historical Society meeting. John Paul Jones wasn't there, but Councilman Friedlander was. And somebody who did that presentation? Hibernia. It was called Green Pond Vacation Land, I believe, and it was a presentation on the history of Green Pond and people coming from Patterson to vacation here, and the carriage. It was phenomenal. Like, it was really informational, and I know there's so much history like that in Rockaway Township. So I would highly encourage. I know all the council members are members of the Historical Society. I'd highly encourage people to consider becoming a member, because there's a lot of things that you can do in the township and find out about its history. So. And we spoke briefly, to Gene Licker, about the church across from Faish House, and what we could do there. So we're going to have some talks with the county maybe and see if we can move forward with maybe trying to do some improvements there, because it's pretty dilapidated, and I think it would be a nice thing to fix up. But more to come on that, and thank you. That's it. That's into my report.
Thanks. Ms. Seeger?
Mine will be quick. I would like to let you all know that the fire director, Jeff Heinzelman, wrote a grant for the American Rescue. DCA awarded today, we were notified from the American Rescue Plan Firefighters Grant to the fire departments that we won the third highest in Morris County, $42,000 for the fire department. They put it in for turnout gear and a washer and dryer. So look forward to that. And Lisa will talk more about that.
So, as Pat said, we were just informed of this award today. It would be best if we could add a resolution to tonight's meeting, which would be similar to resolutions 150 and 151 that you already approved today. It's adding a line item of revenue so that we can spend that $42,000. It would be adjusted to the 2022 budget, and we could, the state needs time to approve it prior to year end, but we'd be able to start making those purchases sooner rather than later. So the next resolution number, if I'm correct, Everett, is 22-165. If I could read that title into the record, is that something you would be willing to entertain?
Is that 164?
165.
No, exactly.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so it would be entitled, it's Resolution R-22-165, resolution authorizing the insertion of an item of revenue in the 2022 budget for additional funding for the American Rescue Plan firefighter grant.
Do I have to repeat that?
No, you got the word.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Council President, before we take the roll, I just asked the council to note that the proper format would be, as part of the motion to approve it, to authorize the clerk to turn it into writing.
So noted.
Yes.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilwoman New?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich?
Yes.
Vice President Sackett?
Yes.
President Kretz?
Yes, that's 8 yeses. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
I did forget one thing. We'll have our budget hearings not next week, but the week after, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Open to the public, but not for any discussion.
Thank you. Ms. Palmieri, are you done?
Thank you, that's my answer.
Mr. Coward?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thanks. Chief?
We've been busy. Special events, as we all know, has already been discussed, was we assisted with the fire inspection. Everyone was pretty impressed with the handling of the motorcycle by Officer Liasco. We assisted with Rockaway Township Night. PAL, the Halloween party was on the 20th. We attended that with the Challenger kids. Dark Lake, we assisted Dave Dyer and the fire department in ensuring the safety of the 3,000 plus kids that were there. We had the increased Halloween patrols on the 30th and the 31st. Thankfully, there was no major incidents of mischief. A lot of kids in the streets, but nobody was hurt. On the 3rd, we had the Night to Remember, and after that, I was in contact because that's when we received the notification of the credible threat in the synagogues in New Jersey. I reached out to our rabbis, both at the Chabad Center and White Meadow Temple. I told them that we were going to be instituting our High Holy Day, High Visibility Patrol Plan, which included the uniformed officers and the plainclothes guys doing the increased checks, as well as the stationary patrols in front of both synagogues. As we know later on, it turned out that, they located the individual and they locked him up actually this morning. But out of overabundance of safety, I told the rabbis that we would continue to increase patrols. I actually stopped and I was talking to the folks at White Meadow Temple because they're preparing for dinner that Friday night. They're appreciative of all the efforts we were taking. Same thing, the rabbis actually called to thank the police department for our additional efforts. I met with the director of Dover BOE, Board of Education Security, in regards to the preschool that they have set up over at St. Clements. We went over some of the safety concerns that they had. I explained to them that we would be adding them to our list of properties for enhanced checks due to the the age of the children. The good thing is that between 7 and 3, no parents coming in. The children are bused from Dover to St. Clements. They attend the preschool, and then they're bused out at 3 o'clock. As was mentioned, tomorrow is Veterans Day. They're having a ceremony at the American Legion at 5 p.m. There'll be a little ceremony. And once again, we'll be assisting on this Saturday with the General's Day. If anyone's noticed, a lot of the officers are looking a little scruffy. That's because we're participating in No Shave November. The money's being donated to Sergeant Brendan Briscoe. He's a Morristown police officer with 24 years, 7 months on. He was just diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So we're raising funds for him to help him and his family, meet the medical bills. And other than that, that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Dyer?
Good evening. Yes, Dark Lake was a major success. Rob O'Connor from the borough, chief's guys, the fire department. I think they estimated over 4,000 people were there. So thank you for everyone for coming out. It was a great event. Signs for Peterson Field. I have the PO in. I'm waiting for the proof. There's a number of signs, very large, with all the bullet points of what you can't do. As soon as we get them, we'll put them up. The cameras, I visited with a vendor for procuring cameras, and it will be completely secure up there in stages as the budget comes along, whether it's going to be the number of cameras to begin with, and we're going to add on and add on. So actively working with a vendor on a state contract to get cameras up there ASAP. I'll add no dogs to the sign. Again, I'll put as many signs as you guys like, but it takes all the residents to listen. It's tough to have someone on a bicycle out there, but we're all involved together.
Each sign it says read the signs.
Read the sign. Right, right.
Big sign.
Big sign. Read the sign. Be respectful. As far as Saturday, the General's event, it's going to be an epic event. Unico has worked for 3 months on this. It's a way for Rockaway Township and the borough to really shine. A lot of time is put into it. For parking, the Methodist Church up the street, there'll be a big sign. If everyone is attending, or you know someone's attending, the easiest spot is to go up to the Methodist Church. There'll be an officer there to cross everybody over. It's lining up to be an epic day. With the weather the way, hopefully it's breaking. It's all going to be outside. If the weather is inclement, they're going to just move everything into the Legion. And we're going to go from there. So that's all I have.
Thanks. Mr. Knopf?
I'd just like to send my all our thanks to the Rockaway Township Fire Department, Green Pond Fire Brigade, and New Jersey Forest Fire Service for the brush fire yesterday on the compost area. Some 15,000 gallons of water were used on the fire. We have 2 heavy equipment operators tearing out the piles, flipping the piles over as they were pouring water on. As far as the road department is concerned, we got all the plows ready. Bones are full of salt. We're just waiting for Old Man Winter to show up.
On a 70-degree November day. Exactly. Good. Okay. just to let everybody know, we're going to move on to the next item. We're going to be going into a closed session. When we're done with the closed session, we're going to come back. We may or may not have to conduct a piece of business, and then we're going to adjourn. So, more than welcome to stay. Not a lot of exciting things happening. So, can I have a motion, R-22-164 resolution authorizing a executive closed session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act to discuss pending litigation and personnel matters. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, it's 8 yeses. We're going to be in there for 30 minutes. If we do hit 30 minutes, we'll send somebody out if anybody's here to let you know that we're going to need more time. Thank you.
I think that my wife changed the battery.
Check. What are your talking about? Take it off. And then run on the pump of the.
You think Everett left?
Could have been.
My bedroom.
Okay.
That's why I said in my bedroom.
He may have taken that he's excused us and goodbye, or maybe come back.
Okay. Yep, yep.
Oh, come on, I
No. Yeah. Yep. They want to ask for the food.
We don't want.
I'm sure they'll be.
People who are reckless and some higher
Gotcha.
They put it down crossing the street backwards.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not flying up because I'll be honest with you.
Never gonna win. Never gonna win that.
No, I want you to.
No. I'm not being a wise ass. I'm saying it's not about. It's not about any of the action.
Okay, can I have a motion to return from a closed session?
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses. Okay, we are now going to vote on consent agenda item I. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please take the roll.
Council President, you want to state what the motion is?
Yeah, gotta read it again.
Read it. Aye.
Let's read it.
R-22-158, resolution designating the chief of police as custodian of records for all police department records.
Okay, Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes. 8 yeses, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the township attorney to sign and file on behalf of the township to resolve litigation against Beautiful Farms et al. Is that good?
Sign and file the consent order.
By public consent order.
File and sign a public.
File, that's what I said. File and
Sign and file.
sign and file
Consent
a
order.
consent order. That's exactly what I said.
That's
Can I have a
So
second?
moved. Second.
All right, on the motion, Councilwoman Brooks is the second.
And Councilwoman Noon motioned it.
No, I motioned it.
Oh, you motioned it.
Seconded.
I apologize. Okay. Okay.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich,
Yes.
Vice President Sackett,
Yes.
President Kritz.
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. And with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Stay on.